May 22nd, 1944, a quiet suburban home in Leatherhead, Surrey, England. Rain patters against the window panes like impatient fingers, while inside Leonard Dawe hunches over his desk, pipe clenched between his teeth, scribbling furiously in the dim glow of a single desk lamp. The 54-year-old schoolmaster, head of Strand School in London, exhales a cloud of tobacco smoke that curls toward the ceiling like a secret escaping. His crossword grid stares back, black squares and white voids waiting to be filled with cryptic clues, but tonight something feels off. The words flowing from his pencil aren't just puzzles, they're whispers of war. Big Clark, Red Indian, Mulberry. He pauses, fountain pen hovering, a flicker of unease crossing his bespectacled face. Little does he know, across the channel, German abwehr agents in occupied France are poring over the same Daily Telegraph puzzle, their laughter echoing in a dimly lit safehouse as they mock the harmless British word games. You can almost hear it, the guttural chuckles of spies like Fritz Noble, a wiry operative with a scarred cheek from a pre-war brawl, slapping the newspaper on the table. "Look at this, Hans. The Tommies are so bored they hide their secrets in children's puzzles," he sneers, jabbing a finger at the clues. His partner, Hans Becker, a former Berlin bookseller turned reluctant spy, snorts and translates aloud. "Clue 2 down. This is a second go at making a harbour. 9 letters. Mulberry? What nonsense." They dismiss it as coincidence, folding the paper away to focus on real intel, wiretaps, dead drops and whispers from turncoats. After all, who would encode D-Day secrets in a crossword? The abwehr's arrogance blinds them. They've cracked Enigma, infiltrated SOE networks. British puzzles are beneath contempt. Meanwhile, back in Leatherhead, Dawe rises, stretches his aching back, and glances at the clock. 11:47 p.m. The blackout curtains seal out the world, but his mind races. As a puzzle compiler for the Daily Telegraph since the 1930s, he's filled thousands of grids, drawing from schoolboy chatter and his own vivid imagination. His students, evacuated to Surrey amid the Blitz, love shouting out words during breaks, exotic terms like Overlord, overheard from officers billeted nearby. He chuckles to himself, unaware that MI5's shadowy eyes are already scanning the morning editions. Tomorrow, the May 22 puzzle hits newsstands, its answers a bombshell. Overlord, the full invasion codename, Neptune, the naval assault, and Mulberry, the floating harbours. In Whitehall, alarms blare, not from Luftwaffe bombs, but from ink on newsprint. The very next morning, May 23rd, 1944, a cramped office in MI5's St. James's Street headquarters, London. Cigarette smoke hangs thick as fog from the Thames, stinging the eyes of Major Alexander Slessor, a stern-faced counterintelligence officer with a neatly trimmed moustache and a ledger of suspicions as thick as his wartime overcoat. His desk groans under stacks of intercepted abwehr cables, SOE debriefs, and now a crumpled Daily Telegraph crossword circled in red ink by a junior analyst. Overlord, Neptune, gold, sword, Slessor mutters, his voice a gravelly whisper that cuts through the clatter of typewriters. The room freezes, aides exchange glances, the air electric with dread. This isn't some schoolboy prank, it's a potential catastrophe, the invasion's crown jewels splashed across 100,000 newspapers. Slessor snaps his fingers, summoning Lieutenant Evelyn Charrington, a sharp-eyed WAAF officer with a knack for puzzles and a pistol concealed in her handbag. "Get me everything on this Dawe fellow," he barks, shoving the paper her way. "If he's a jerry plant, we'll have him in the Tower by tea." Charrington nods, her heels clicking sharply on the linoleum as she dashes out, requisitioning files from the registry. By noon, Dawe's dossier arrives. Unremarkable schoolteacher, puzzle enthusiast, no known accident.
Axis ties, but his school borders military camps crawling with American GIs prepping for Overlord. Coincidence, or a breadcrumb trail for spies? Across town in a nondescript pub near Victoria Station, Fritz Noble meets his handler, Oberleutnant Karl Heinz, over tepid pints. The crossword lies between them, now dog-eared. "The English are taunting us," Noble laughs again, but there's an edge to it, forced, like a man whistling past a graveyard. Heinz, a veteran of Dunkirk infiltrations, squints at the grid. "Mulberry harbours? We've heard rumours from double-crossed SOE agents, if this is real." His words trail off as a barmaid eyes them suspiciously. They burn the paper in the pub's back alley, ashes scattering in the wind, convinced it's disinformation. But doubt gnaws. Noble scribbles a coded report for transmission via shortwave from a Wimbledon attic. British puzzles contain harbour codes, possible feint. Back at MI5, Slessor paces, phone to his ear, coordinating with SHEF security at Eisenhower's bunker. Parachuted keen to Leatherhead if needed, he growls. The clock ticks mercilessly. D-Day looms in weeks, and one leaky puzzle could reroute every Panzer Division west. Charrington bursts in with fresh intel. Dawe's assistant, a 14-year-old boy named Donald Bennett, overheard GIs yelling Utah Beach during football games. The pieces align, but proof eludes them. Tension coils like a spring. Slessor's fist clenches the crossword, crumpling it further. Tonight they move.
May 25th, 1944, 11:30 p.m. Leonard Dawe's modest semi-detached house on Downs Road, Leatherhead. The countryside is shrouded in blackout silence, broken only by the distant hoot of an owl and the crunch of gravel under heavy boots. A black Humber saloon idles at the curb, headlights doused, its occupants' shadows emerging into the misty night. Major Slessor, flanked by two plainclothes MI5 enforcers, burly men in trenchcoats, revolvers bulging at their hips. Slessor adjusts his trilby, nods curtly, and they advance. A sharp rap echoes like gunfire on Dawe's front door. 3 knocks, deliberate, authoritative. Inside, Dawe jolts from his armchair, pipe tumbling to the rug, heart pounding as he peers through a slit in the curtain. Torch beams slice the darkness, illuminating stern faces. "MI5, Mr. Dawe, open up," booms Slessor's voice, muffled but unyielding. Dawe's hands tremble as he unbolts the door, the chill night air rushing in with 3 figures who fill the narrow hallway like storm clouds. "Leonard Dawe," Slessor demands, flashing an etched warrant card under the hall light. "We need to talk about your crossword, now." Dawe stammers. Puzzles? What's this about?" But the agents are already inside, one rifling his desk, another scanning bookshelves for hidden compartments. You feel the sweat beading on Dawe's brow as Slessor slaps the Telegraph on the kitchen table, the grid glaring accusingly under the bare bulb. "Overlord, Neptune, Mulberry, these are top-secret code names, man. You've compromised the entire invasion." Slessor's finger jabs the paper, veins bulging in his neck. Dawe sinks into a chair, pale as the blackout moon filtering through lace curtains. I swear, it's just words from the boys. My pupils, they picked them up from soldiers." The enforcers exchange glances, hands hovering near pockets, ready for resistance. Outside, Noble and Becker, tipped by a careless pub whisper, lurk in hedges half a mile away, binoculars trained on the house. "MI5 at the puzzle makers," Noble hisses into his radio. "The codes are real." Laughter gone, they scramble for a getaway, their report now a frantic plea to Berlin. Slessor leans in, voice low and lethal. "Names, Dawe. Every student, every word. If you're a conduit for Jerry Spies, you'll swing." Dawe's mind races. Innocent games with boys yelling Juno during playground crosswords, now a noose. The interrogation stretches into the witching hour, teacups cold and forgotten. Dawn creeps over Leatherhead, May 26, 1944, 5:45 a.m. Strand schools evacuated dormitories in a requisitioned manor house, fog cloaking the playing fields where GIs once drilled. Major Slessor, red-eyed from the all-night grilling, bundles a bleary-eyed Dawe into the Humber, now joined by Lieutenant Charrington, clutching a notebook. They rumble toward the school, gravel spitting under tires as the first roosters crow. Inside the headmaster's study, stacks of Latin primers and dog-eared atlases, 14-year-old Donald Bennett yawns awake, tousled hair and school blazer rumpled from sleep. "Sir," he mumbles, rubbing eyes at the intrusion of torchlight and authority figures. Slessor wastes no time, spreading the crossword on the desk like a murder map. "Boy, these words, Overlord, Gold Beach, where'd your teacher get them?" Bennett blinks, then grins sheepishly. "From the Yanks, sir. During breaks they'd shout 'em while playing rounders. 'Pass to Juno,' or 'Mulberry's up.' We thought it was football teams." Dawe nods frantically beside him, vindicated. Charrington jots notes, her pencil flying, while Slessor probes. "And you fed them to Mr. Dawe for puzzles?" "Aye, ma'am. Crossword Club. Makes the grids fun. Never thought." The boy's voice trails, innocence cracking under the weight of war's gaze. Word spreads like wildfire through the dorms. Other pupils, roused by the commotion, cluster at doors, whispers of Spies and D-Day. Slessor interviews a dozen. 15-year-old Roger Green recalls Neptune from a GI's love letter. 13-year-old Maurice Buller overheard Bigot, the ultra-secret clearance, by the cricket pitch. No malice, just boys' chatter absorbed into innocent grids. Dawe slumps, relieved yet haunted. "I compile blind, Major. Hundreds of puzzles. No harm meant." Slessor exhales, tension easing like a released breath, but paranoia lingers. "Coincidence or not, this breaches Bigot's security. You're both under watch." Meanwhile, in a frantic Berlin bunker, Abwehr Chief Wilhelm Canaris pores over Noble's burst. British arrest puzzlemaker over invasion codes. Leak confirmed. Laughter echoes no more. Hitler's high command scrambles, redeploying phantom divisions based on the leak. Back in Surrey, as sun burns off fog, Slessor wires Whitehall. Door cleared, schoolboy osmosis, but tighten lips on bases. The crisis ebbs, but the close call exposes Allied nerves raw as flayed wire.